Hi, I'm Paul Speckmann from Master, and you're watching Steelworks. Support the underground. Support metal, rock and roll, yo.
Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of Steelworks. Our guest today is Paul Speckmann, a living legend of everything extreme metal. His project, Speckmann Project, recently released Fiends of Emptiness after a 31-year absence, but it was well worth the wait if your thing is old school death metal. Listen to what Paul has to say, enjoy the show, horns up, and stay heavy.
It's only in name, yo. The point is, I'm telling everybody the truth because I don't care, But the point is that Rogga and I recorded five records on under the moniker Joahnsson Speckmann. And in all honesty, for some reason, people just missed these records. And if you listen to the records, some of them are really good. Some of them are okay, but some of them are really like kick ass. And for some reason, with the name Joahnsson and Speckmann, people just overlooked these records. Some people bought them, but I mean, the critics and a lot of people just overlooked it, thinking it was some kind of super group when we were just putting out some cool tunes together, So what I wanted to say is, what happened with the Speckmann Project is Rogga contacted me 2 years ago. This stuff was recorded 2 years ago already. It's a long time ago, but anyway, so he said to me, Paul, I was thinking about doing some stuff maybe even more old school than we were doing, just like these punk riffs and 2 or 3 chord changes. And what do you think about that? And I said, well, it sounds interesting. I said, record 2 songs, send them to me. I'll listen to them. I'll put some vocals on them if I like them, and we'll go from there. So this is exactly what happened. I got the 2 songs, and right away, I wrote the first song in about, I would say maybe 5 minutes. But this happens when I'm working with him, It's a song on the album. The first song is called Absolute Power. Anyway, so I wrote this song, like I said, in maybe 5 minutes after he sent me the music, except for I wrote a couple lines later in the evening to fix it a little bit. But anyway, point is that I really liked it and I thought it was cool. And Rogga said to me, Paul, maybe we should try and release this record under the Speckmann moniker. Why don't we try the Speckmann Project? Because maybe more people will actually listen to the damn record. And to be quite honest with you, he was right. The record is selling like crazy. The critics are reviewing it. Some like it, some hate it, etc. It's normal. I know that. But the point is for example, I'm getting lots of interviews and a lot of positive energy from this record. So yeah, 31 years later, it's only really a project in name. We just called this a Speckmann Project because we didn't think under the Joahnsson Speckmann. Again, we thought people would miss the record, Significant. Got it. It was his idea, and I give him credit for that. Whatever, it seems to be working. So what happened was this: we got a record deal with Emancipation Productions, which you obviously know, and it's a 2-album deal. So we'll record another album next year. The only thing that I will do different on the next record is I want to go back a little bit further, more like this first Speckmann Project, and write some longer songs. So I'm going to speak with Rogga before we record the next album and write some longer songs, Most of the songs in this album are 2.5 to 3.5 minutes. On the original Speckmann Project, there were songs that were like 5 to 7 minutes. So I'm just going to put a bug in his ear. I'm not going to tell him what to write. I'm just going to put a bug in his ear and tell him, hey, maybe, do the solos twice or do one of the vocal sections. Let's do it a third time instead of just twice. I'm going to make the songs a little bit longer next time. I'm not saying that this record isn't a good record. I really like it. But just in hindsight, I would have preferred to have longer songs, That's just my opinion, but it's okay. Exactly. And a lot of times I get this nonsense from people, like, just changing the subject for a second to Master, but I get the nonsense from people and they're saying, oh, every time you put out a record, it's the same record again. you know? And what I try to say to people is just like Motorhead. You know when it's a Motorhead record. You knew when Lemmy put out a new record. Sometimes he used the same or similar riffs, a similar style on every single record. And for me, that is called style. There's other groups out there that are always trying these new plans and new tricks. And now we're a grind band, or now we're a death metal band, or now we're a hard rock band, or they're always trying the latest flavor of the day. And for me, that's a joke. I would rather stay true to myself, and that's what I've always done. And I respect Rogga for writing songs in the vein that I like and he likes, and it's okay for me, yeah? That's a tough question, and I get a lot of flack for it because, I personally like the older bands, yeah? And I know there's a new scene out there today, and I'm not going to mention any band names, but whatever. There's a bunch of bands out there, and they're all playing the same shit that Chuck did, or Cam did, or I did, or Creator did, or Destruction did, 30 years ago. And it's like a lot of the bands are just copying what we did, and just in my opinion, that there's not much of a new scene. Maybe I don't know all the bands, okay, but I'm just saying I personally would rather listen to the original bands. But this is just my opinion. I'm sure there's some good bands out there that are creating something new. I hope so. But I'm just saying that personally, I'm listening to old music, That doesn't make me right or wrong. It's just my opinion, like I said. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. And for me, I prefer to go and see a concert of an older band, but I guess I'm just an old man. Maybe that's why, Now Master's coming back. Thankfully, we're starting to get shows in Europe and around Europe. So far, nothing in America. I'm trying to get Asia going, and in Australia, and obviously South America again. Probably that stuff will happen next year. But in the meantime, I decided with this new lineup, which was the old guitar player Alex came back, and drummer Peter, that we jammed when Zdenek quit the first time, which was like 11 years ago. He joined like a heavy metal band in the Czech Republic, a famous heavy metal band, which is fine. And then this Peter came in the band and played with us for a year, and then Zdenek came back. This was like 11 years ago. But anyway, Peter decided that he wanted to jam, and Alex, when I wrote him, he said, I'd be glad to come back and give it another try. And now things are going really well. We've been doing successful shows. Like I said to you, we're working on a new album. I signed a new contract with Hammerheart Records to reissue the entire catalog of Master on CDs. And also there'll be box sets. There's going to be some special vinyl releases. And also we're going to record 3 albums as well, 3 brand new albums with the label Hammerheart. So Master is getting busy again. Okay, I could use more shows, but step by step. I don't have an agent really, and so I'm doing most of this stuff myself. So it's not always easy. But then again, I just got an offer this week for another tour in March next year. So it's starting to pick up, Speckmann Project, there's no plans for anything yet because we haven't found anybody interested yet. It's a strange situation. Rogga and I discussed it, and I told him that, if we get some offers for some festivals, if the price is right, obviously, because, we live in different countries, they would have to fly us all to a festival or whatever, which today is very reasonable in Europe. It's not so expensive even now to fly from Sweden, let's say, and me from wherever I could drive, depending on where it is. They could fly from Sweden. Definitely interested, but I'm thinking maybe this will happen in 2023. There has to be somebody out there that wants to see the Speckmann Project live, or we could do a mix of Speckmann Project album and maybe some songs from our respective bands, or maybe some Johansson Speckmann songs as well. We could certainly do an hour. We have plenty of material. So let's hope, let's hope for the Speckmann Project. I'm waiting for an offer, but so far, nothing. you know.
Seems the world is changing to